Unafraid Show. It's your boy, George Reister, in the building. Thank you guys for joining me. And as usual, I appreciate all you guys who show up after Pac-12 After Dark to show up and watch the Unafraid Show. I appreciate it. You guys make sure you visit unafraidshow.com. There's gear. There's also, by the time you wake up in the morning, there will be the Unafraid Show college football top 10 as it should be. Because the committee doesn't always make it how it should be. And there was chaos today. You guys always know I will get to all your questions. So you can either send them in here, whether you're watching on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, whether you're listening to the podcast. Send your questions in that way, or send them in to I'm Mad, IMMAD, at unafraidshow.com. Crazy weekend in college football. You always know that chaos happens right before the playoffs are decided, the top four are decided, and that's where we're going to get started today. Yeah, we may mention Dwight Howard a little bit, but that's, boy, I was reading that timeline. That was crazy. I didn't even know why the dude was trending. And then I look, he just more and more tweets, and all of a sudden it was like 100,000 tweets. I was like, what the hell did Dwight Howard do? Did he like collapse on the court or something? Yeah, but no. So we're going to start out. We got the college football top 10 for week 14. We got the Pac-12 recap. The state of the Oregon Ducks. LSU versus Texas A&M marathon game, and also the FSU, the Florida State racist fan against Willie Taggart. That was absolutely like mind-blowing. But where we're going to start is the top 10. The rankings will be up on unafraidshow.com. They are based upon the most important three criteria that any rankings should be based upon: quality wins, schedule played, and dominance. Like, that's it. Like, there shouldn't be no damn eye test. I don't believe in it. So I don't even factor it in. Like, it's just, who have you beat? How well did you beat them? And your schedule. Like, that's it. So I want to start with, so Alabama comes in at number 1. You guys swipe up, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Alabama at number 1. They're a clear number 1 team all year. They haven't had, any struggles, anything all year. Number 2, Clemson. Clemson is, they're going to walk over whoever they play in the ACC championship. I don't even know who it is, and it doesn't even matter. They're going to walk all over them. They're 12-0. But I do want to give Dabo Swinney props today. He called a toss play to Christian Wilkins, the dude who did the split on the ground when they won the national championship and was popping it. Him. A toss the kid for striking the Heisman pose. He's a 300-pound D tackle. What the hell is he supposed to do? He may never touch the ball again in his entire career. Come on, man. Number 3, Notre Dame. I thought Notre Dame was going down to USC today after the first half, but then I thought, hold up, this is USC. They always start out great in the first half, and then in the second half, they cannot score points. Ridiculous. But my biggest question about Notre Dame is this, because they're going to get the 3 seed in the playoffs. How are they going to fare against Clemson? Because they get the benefit of the doubt only having to go 12-0 because they're an independent school with no conference. They get the benefit of the doubt. But if they go lay an egg like they did in the national championship against Alabama a few years ago, guess what's going to happen the next time? It's a 12-0 team and a 12-1 team that they think are really good. Yep. They're going to get knocked off. Someone said they don't trust Notre Dame's quarterback, Ian Book. I trust Ian Book way more than Brandon Wimbush, their old quarterback. And I think that he's been the X factor in them getting to where they are. Number 4 in the Unafraid Show top 10, as they should be, is Oklahoma. Oklahoma is my team I'm riding with this year. I will die on the Oklahoma hill because I believe that this is the only team that can beat Alabama. That can beat out. Yes, I said it, because there is nobody that can, except Army, who could hold Oklahoma under 37 points. They only scored 37 points one time this year. Everything else has been 40 and above. This offense cannot be stopped. Kyler Murray should absolutely win the Heisman. I like Tua Tagovailoa. He's a great player. But Kyler Murray, nobody's been asked to do as much as he's been asked to do. Someone said, if you can make this argument with Notre Dame, you need to make this argument with Central Florida. No, sorry. I'm a Central Florida advocator. But Notre Dame's schedule is better. That's just what it is. And if UCF have been trashing opponents all year, like they have been in the end of the year, then they would be ranked higher. I guarantee you. But Oklahoma, absolutely, Kyler Murray should be the Heisman Trophy winner. His stats are better than Tua's. Even if you take out Kyler Murray's fourth quarters, just like Tua's fourth quarters, his stats are still better. There's nothing to talk about. There is nothing to talk about. I do not want to see Central Florida and Washington State in the Fiesta Bowl. I do not want to see it. I want to see Central Florida versus another SEC team. That's what I want to see. I want to see them beat somebody else, even without Mackenzie Milton, their quarterback, who just tore his knee up. So Oklahoma's at number 4. Number 5, I got Ohio State. Here's the thing about Ohio State. They just put up 62 points on the number 1 team in number 1 defense in all of college football, which is Michigan. I find it very, very interesting that Ohio State fans, when I posted this article the last few weeks, we don't look like a top 10 team. We don't look like a top 10 team. We don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I guarantee they're talking a different tune now. Guarantee they're going to be like, we should be number 4. Yeah, I bet you they are. Guarantee they are. Here's the other thing about Ohio State is I find it very interesting that Urban Meyer is now being portrayed as a sympathetic figure. They keep talking about the cyst on his brain, his health issues. Listen, only Ohio State fans at this point in time are going to see Urban Meyer as a sympathetic figure. Yes, I have sympathy for a man who has health issues and is out there fighting, trying to do his job. But he blamed, the Zach Smith situation on his medicine and all that. This is college football. It's big time college football. Yeah, I feel bad for you, but if you can't do your job, you just can't do your job. Number 6, Georgia. I know a lot of people are going to be super upset about this. Oh, Georgia is this, Georgia is that. Well, here's the thing. Georgia's a good team. There is no denying. There's no denying what they have done this year in terms of since they've been playing good teams, because their schedule has been absolutely soft all year. I've talked about it. Georgia Tech this weekend was their best non-conference opponent of the entire year. They played Austin Peay, Middle Tennessee State, UMass, and Georgia Tech. So, their schedule's been weak. So, how can I give Georgia that much credit? They beat Auburn, not a ranked team. They beat Kentucky, which nobody really thinks is that good. They lost to LSU. Really, what has this team done? They beat South Carolina. What has this team really done? Not very much. So that's why they're sitting where they are. I know that's going to make people upset because people want to believe that Georgia is some world beater, but what have they really done? Number 7, Central Florida. Central Florida is number 7. in the college football rankings, they had LSU at number 7. I didn't even have LSU in the top 10 last week. How can I put a team in the top 10 and ahead of teams like Washington State and ahead of Ohio State and West Virginia when they couldn't even manage one single point against Alabama? When the Citadel did it, Auburn scored 21 today. Arkansas even scored. But come on, man. But I'm supposed to believe you're the number 7 team in the country? Hell no, man. Hell to no. You guys are listening to The Unafraid Show. Visit unafraidshow.com. George Reister here. Make sure you send in all your questions, comments. I will get to them. Central Florida at 7. They lost their quarterback, Mackenzie Milton. We got to pray for him. They said he had successful surgery, but I mean, we probably won't see him next football season because this is a long, long injury. Someone said, can New Mexico get better and win the league? Man, listen, don't nobody even know what New Mexico's record is. I got Michigan at number 8. Reason why I got Michigan at number 8 is because their defense is so damn good. And the only people that can beat Michigan have top flight offenses. And here is the thing that I want to say about Jim Harbaugh. He got out-coached today. Yes, I am going to talk about Willie Taggart and the guy Thomas Shan. The thing about Jim Harbaugh is this. Is that he's a late adopter. Like in life, you never want to be a late adopter. You want to be an early adopter. You want to be a person who, when a trend changes, your company, your lifestyle, whatever it is ahead of the curve. Jim Harbaugh is behind the curve right now in terms of offensively. Like he has been reluctant to change his style of play because even Nick Saban has had to adjust the way that he plays football. Even Nick Saban has had to do it. He's had to go up tempo a little bit more. He's had to throw the football. He's had to find quarterbacks. Like, this is the way of the world. And Harbaugh has been a late adopter to that. He thinks that you can just have the number 1 defense in all of college football and then just run the ball down people's throat. Doesn't work like that. This is 2018. The rules are set up for the offense to be successful. And with that being said, you have to score more points. Like, you can't think that you're just going to blow the doors off of people. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Question about Harbaugh Harbaugh needs to hire Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator. There is zero chance that that Jim Harbaugh would want any style of play that looks like Cliff Kingsbury and the air raid. Not happening. There's no way. Because it creates a lack of control. And it also affects the defense because they play field position so much. So, and then sometimes air raid, you get 3 and outs. I'll get to the LSU Texas A&M game in just a second. You guys are watching Unafraid Show. Swipe up, share the feed with somebody. Tell them about the Unafraid Show, which is the greatest thing that you're ever going to watch. And also, thank you guys again for tuning in after all the games. I appreciate it. Like, this is our time together. I answer all your questions, and we talk football in a real way. What do I think about Cliff Kingsbury getting the boot at Texas Tech? I don't think it's right. He's had a whole bunch of quarterback issues this year. When his quarterback was healthy, not Duffy Bowman. When Bowman was healthy, they were winning games. You lose your quarterbacks, you're gonna lose. Like this is a way of football. Like, you can't act like Cliff Kingsbury sucks. But back to the Unafraid Show top 10. I gave you the first 9 teams already. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Oklahoma 4, Ohio State 5, Georgia 6, Central Florida 7, Michigan 8, West Virginia 9, and then Washington State 10. The reason why I still have Washington State so high is because they played Washington in virtually a blizzard. I would love to see Alabama try to play in a whiteout. I would love to see it. Would absolutely love to see how they fare and how great their offense looks in a blizzard. I'll answer your question about Colorado as well when I get to the Pac-12. So that's the top 10 for right now. But coming up next, Penn State, Utah, Florida, Texas, Washington, and LSU. Okay, so now I want to get to the next thing on the docket. Before we even get to the Pac-12 recap, I want to talk two things. I want to talk the LSU versus Texas A&M game, which was absolutely amazing. I was watching the game in there, and my wife came on. And my wife was like, George, why did you turn off the end of the USC game to see the LSU Texas A&M game? And I'm like, it's good. Do you not see if there's 1 second left to go in the game? So, and I'm just used to watching Kellen Mond find a way to screw the game up in the end of the game. Like, that's just been his MO. That's the way it was under our last head coach. It's kind of been that way in the beginning of this year. But what did he do? Kellen Mond threw a strike at the end of the game. It was absolutely amazing. Then they go into, 8 overtimes? 7, 8 overtimes? Like, this was the college football game of the year. A lot of people are going to try to blame the refs. But at the end of the day, if you are the number 7 team in the nation, you are supposed to get the job done. I didn't think they're the number 7 team in the nation, but you have to get the job done when you are given these opportunities. And LSU, under Ed Orgeron, having a great year. I think they finished 9-3. Decent year, but they still don't have an offense. Like, they still don't have a good enough offense to beat anybody. Anybody of note. Can't even score on Alabama. Like, come on, man. And the other thing that stuck out to me today, after I left the UCLA Stanford game, which I think that I'll get to that in a second when I go to the Pac-12, is Oklahoma. Someone said they're disputing. They think that the Oklahoma-West Virginia game was the game of the year. I'm just like, dude, like, you had, in the course of a week, you had the Monday night game with the Rams and the Chiefs score 1 billion points, score over 100 points in the NFL. Never happened. 2 teams score over 50 points. And nobody complained about the game because it was decided by defense. And then you had the Oklahoma-West Virginia game. Oh, the Big 12 plays no defense. This is horrible. This is terrible. I hate this. Okay. All right. But you didn't complain about it on Monday night. You like that. No, you just want to bash the Big 12. And then you get the LSU Texas A&M game. They score 72 and 74 points. Nobody can get a stop on defense. Nobody can get a stop. But you like that, though. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in what's going on. But today, when I left the UCLA Stanford game, I will get into the Pac-12 right after this. I left the UCLA Stanford game. I look on Twitter and I look at my boy Trap's page, Travis Johnson, and he said something about a racist. And I was like, what the hell? And I look, and I could not have been more shocked by what I saw. There's a Florida State fan named Thomas Shand. This is not exposing anybody. Like, this is not anything wrong. He put it out himself. Thomas Shand, guy who works at Hilton Grand Vacations as like a concierge specialist or something. He made a post about Willie Taggart because Florida State, they lost their 36-year bowl streak, 41 years with a winning record, all that. He posts a picture of a black man being lynched. A black man being lynched with Willie Taggart's face on it And the caption says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing your rep. What? I mean, it was so bad. No, this is live. This was so egregious that people thought it had to be photoshopped. And I posted it on my Twitter at George Reister. Like, it was so egregious. Like, and then somebody checked him. The Dakota Saunders checked him. You serious? What the fuck is wrong with you? He said, I'm dead serious. This is how far I'm willing to go to get rid of this clown, referring to Willie Taggart. And I just thought that was absolutely like amazing because this is the same guy that's guaranteed to be like, oh, yo, I'm not racist. But I mean, losing 7 games didn't turn him into a racist. His true colors came out. Because just a couple years ago, he tweeted out, Lovie Smith, you're a sorry piece of shit. Your boys went in that locker room and never came out. I hope they fire your black ass. How come they can't just fire him? Why they gotta fire his black ass though? I mean, and here's the thing that I know is that if people are willing to go, if this dude is willing to go this far over a football game, if he's willing to go this far over a football game, what will he do in real life? I mean, come on. Like I get that people are upset about Florida State having their first losing season since Bobby Bowden's first season. I understand that. I'm a diehard Ducks fan. I get it. I'm talking about the guy Thomas Shand who put up the racist meme about Willie Taggart. Like, if you're willing to do this about football, what are you doing in your real life? I mean, that's a real question. I mean, like, imagine if his daughter comes home with somebody he don't like. What is he going to say, do? If he's a person who is, like, I understand there are racist people out in the world. But this dude, his job education, he's a club counselor at Hilton Grand Vacations. I'm an owner at Hilton Grand Vacations. And I'm sitting there just like, huh. I mean, come on, man. Absolutely ridiculous. I really just, I mean, and this is the same dude. I didn't post these pictures, but he had, when Willie Taggart was hired, he changed his avatar on Facebook, his profile picture, to a picture of Willie Taggart. He did it twice, but now he wants to lynch him. I mean, come on, man. Like, I was very proud of us as a people to how disgusted people were with this, because even racists were like, whoa, buddy, because not only are you racist, you're stupid. Like, you're stupid and racist, like, which makes it even worse. But I digress. Back to what we were talking about. Everything, you guys send in your comments. I will get to them. Now we're going to get to the Pac-12 recap. Pac-12 recap. Everybody knows I'm a Pac-12 guy. Like, this is my specialty. This is my bag. And people weren't, I found it interesting that a lot of people weren't necessarily very happy that I blasted fans this week from the Pac-12 about not caring as much about football as other conferences. But fans are sitting there in Utah. Utah's playing BYU. BYU's 6-5, I think. Utah's ranked like 17th in the country. It's cold as hell outside, and they're still there. But then you got USC hasn't drawn more than 60,000 this year at the Coliseum. UCLA was half full this year. It was absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God. Desmond Howard, real quick. Desmond Howard, he looks crazy. But Dwight, yes, okay. A bunch of people have asked me about Dwight Howard. I'll get to Dwight Howard at the end. Jeez. You guys are a glutton for this stuff, man. Oh boy. Yeah, so the attendance is down in terms of because teams aren't in contention, and I think that that's terrible. Like, you have to be able to support your team and give your team a chance to win. Like today, Notre Dame and USC. USC started the game out hot. Like, imagine if the Coliseum had been full. Imagine the energy that the team would have been able to feed off of if they had gotten the support from their team. I mean, imagine that. If they had gotten the support from the USC faithful, all those people running around town with USC gear on, oh, I cheer for the Trojans. Where the hell was your ass at in the stadium? I mean, really, like, you have to be able to support your team no matter what. No matter what. I mean, and Clay Helton may have saved his job by having a close game against against Notre Dame. They had a chance to win, but the question is, why can't they score after halftime? Why can't they score after halftime? I mean, like, so Notre Dame is clearly a good team. They're 12-0. They've blown out a bunch of teams. They beat Michigan. Like, they're a good team. So why can't you get this same effort out of USC against Cal, against Arizona State, against whoever? Talking about USC's not going to support until Helton's gone. Man, that's lame. Like, that is super lame. They weren't supporting before Helton even got there. Like, it wasn't full every game before then. Like, that's just an excuse. 100% excuse. But I will say that USC has by far, there is no receiving core in college football except Oklahoma's that's better than USC's. Between Vaughn's, Pittman, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, them dudes are ballers. Like, they are ballers. You have to give them credit for that. How do you fire Clay Helton when he brings in this phenom at quarterback? First of all, JT Daniels is not a quarterback phenom. He's not a phenom. He's a good quarterback. He's got an opportunity to be really good, but he's nobody's damn phenom. Like, stop it. Took them to back-to-back Pac-12 title games. Listen, man. Like, he's had a collapse. The team is just is just falling apart. Part of it is due to injuries, but the main thing is they don't want to have to hire a new head coach. I mean, Lynn Swann does not want to have to do that, so it's probably not going to happen. So that's pretty much the Notre Dame USC game in a nutshell. Like, USC's got a good team. They got so much talent, but they can't run the football consistently. They make so many mistakes. They're injured all over the place. It was just painful to watch because you knew how much talent that they had. Yep. Ohio State fans coming out the woodworks per usual, even though they were trying to act like they weren't really caring before. Washington and Washington State. I hated this game. I hated the Washington and Washington State game because, like, and mind you, I'm a guy who plays Madden with the weather on random, and I believe that games should be weatherproof. But now I've completely changed my opinion. I'll get to UCLA in a second. I've completely changed my opinion on, like, great weather games. 100%. Because watching the Washington State versus Washington game, it was atrocious. Like, it was frustrating to see a team as offensively dominant as Washington State all year get into a game, and then it starts snowing a whiteout. And then not only that, here's the part that people aren't taking into account because they're like, why can't Washington State still throw the ball? The wind is blowing, it's snowing sideways, they don't have good footing, and then Washington is wearing white jerseys, so it's hard for the quarterback to see. People didn't even take that into consideration. And so that's why Washington State is still above Washington in the Pac-12 power ranking. Well, they're going to be in the Pac-12 power rankings and in the college football top 10 because they've earned it all year, and this was a fluke loss. Like, this was a fluke. No, everybody's going to think, oh, George, you just hate the dogs, but no, it's the truth. I mean, Washington got a blessing with that weather. Jake Browning, a liability still. He only threw 14 passes and an interception. Didn't even throw a tight end. When will Mike Leach learn that part of the game is controlling the pace of the game? He does that. A little known fact, Washington State led the Pac-12 in time of possession this year because as much as their air raid, they controlled the pace of the game. Yep, hey, Bo. They controlled the pace. But they got Myles Gaskin. He broke a long 80-yarder. He had 27 carries, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. That was the difference in the game, was the weather and them being able to run the ball at that pace. The game that just ended was the BYU-Utah game. I thought Utah's goose was cooked. I thought they didn't have a chance. They were down 20-0, Oregon style, like when they played against Washington State. But you got to give them credit. They won the game. They played well. This was a good showing by Utah. Like, they're showing without their top running back, without their quarterback, they're still balling. Oh my God, Utah and Northwestern in the Rose Bowl, that would be classic. If Northwestern beats Ohio State and then Utah, which I do believe is going to beat Washington, oh my God, people would be big sad about that. They would be upset. Ohio State fans would be pissed, Pac-12 fans would be pissed, Big Ten fans would be pissed, but I'll be all right. Utah, they're just finding a way to win. Like, the fact that they're 9-3 representing the Pac-12 South, big deal. Good job. I think that they are going to beat Washington because Jake Browning cannot save them. He cannot save them at all. He's a liability. The UCLA-Stanford game. I was at the UCLA-Stanford game today. Somebody's been asking me about this. I'll tell you this. I've said it a week ago, and I'll say it again. UCLA will be in the college football playoff conversation. I'm not saying they're going to make the top 4, but they will be in the conversation, like top 10, 12, toward the end of the season in 2 years. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, their quarterback, is good. Chip Kelly has shown that he can take a bunch of misfits, not having enough weapons, and find a way to generate offense. They scored 42 points. They're running the ball well. This team is like, Chip Kelly is a genius. I'm telling you, Chip Kelly is an offensive genius. Someone said about UW was dominating Washington State in the first half before the snow started pouring. Peterson owns Leach. Fact. Yes, he does own Mike Leach, but at the same time, like, this year was different. This year was different. I totally believe that. What's up, GA? Yeah, so to get back to the, UCLA and Stanford. I don't know what the hell is going on with Stanford. I mean, I have no idea. I don't think Bryce Love went over 100 yards this year. In any game, he might have like 700 yards. I think his draft stock has just totally taken a hit. And I don't even know how Stanford is going to be able to recover from this. The way, like, David Shaw, he reminds me of Jim Harbaugh. A guy who is unwilling to step into 2018. Willing to say, you know what? My offense has to be my bell cow and my defense has to be really good. But to go back to UCLA for a second, Wilton Speight threw for 466 yards today. No touchdowns. How in the hell do you throw for 466 yards and no touchdowns? That's almost unbelievable. Like, how do you possibly do that? But the dude he was throwing to today, Caleb Wilson, UCLA's tight end, I like that dude. He's number 81. Caleb Wilson can ball. Like, you will see him playing on Sundays. He's a senior. He will probably be a second or third round draft pick. The kid is a beast at tight end. I like him. I think he's better than Noah Fant at Iowa. You guys look out for him. And look out for UCLA because Chip Kelly will have these dudes in contention in 2 years. Not just for the Pac-12, but for the national championship. I got to give big props. I have to give big props in the Pac-12 to Cal. Cal deserves it. They are 7-4 right now. They got another game next week against Stanford. And if they mess around and beat Stanford, boy, oh boy, Justin Wilcox's name is gonna be hot. Like, I mean, boy, everybody, he's gonna be the new pretty girl at the club, boy, the new pretty girl who comes to the school. Hey, everybody gonna be on her. That reminds me of when I was at Oregon. Dominique Jackson came in. And everybody was on her. Like, all the dudes at school were just on her. Like, oh, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? That's kind of the way Justin Wilcox is going to be in the coaching circles. I don't know what jobs are coming open right now. But Cal better pony up. Because I don't even think he's making $2 million a year yet. So Cal better pony up them funds. Or watch Justin Wilcox and the coaching staff be gone. I'm just letting you know. But Cal, they scored 33 points today. 33. I think they're averaging like 23 on the season. 23 on the season, and they scored 33. Their quarterback only threw for 166 yards, and he was the leading rusher at 47 yards. Like, do you realize how good a defense that is? They turned over Steven Montez. He had 3 picks and they got 2 fumbles. I mean, come on in, man. Come on in. You got to give big props to Cal. But on the other hand, you got to take away from Mike McIntyre. I mean, I don't think there's any way that he returns to Colorado next year. Who will Colorado get to replace him? Dude, there are 2 rules to replacing a coach. You can read about it on unafraidshow.com this week. The 2 rules of replacing a coach. Number 1, can you guarantee find somebody who's going to do a better job? 1. And number 2, is there a loss of hope? Is there a loss of hope that the future's brighter than the past? And in Colorado, I think that both of those things are true. I think that they're going to look at Jim Leavitt, Oregon's defensive coordinator, because he's been there. I think that they're going to look at Cal's defensive and offensive coordinator. I didn't mean offensive coordinator. I meant defensive coordinator. They're going to be looking at their defensive coordinator. Think that that the guy down at Utah State, I forgot his name, is going to be an option. Brian Harsin at Boise State is going to be an option. Like, there are going to be some people who are very interested in this Colorado job. Very interested in this Colorado job. Because they are in the Pac-12. They can get talent. There's talent in Colorado. They can get it from Texas. They're close to Arizona. They can get some kids from California. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot of opportunity there. So big ups to Cal. A game that I thought was over today was the Arizona State-Arizona game. I thought that Khalil Tate had sealed the deal. Thought Arizona was going to make it to a bowl game. Nope. no. Um, oh, that's not bad. Someone said if they're looking for a head coach that they would look at Ryan Day and Cliff Kingsbury to Colorado. Colorado, if I'm Colorado, I'm not mad at hiring Cliff Kingsbury. He's had some success. He can get players there, and wide receivers want to play for Cliff Kingsbury because they're going to get the football. If you can find a way to get prima donna wide receivers the football, they will come play for you. They will come play for you in a heartbeat. But Arizona State. What a job Herm Edwards did in his first year. What a job this dude did. 7-5. Finished second in the Pac-12 South. This was a big deal. And if you're looking forward, because I have a couple friends who are coaches, they're talking about Arizona State, how good they're doing on the recruiting trail. Like, this is a big deal. Like, don't think that Herm is just gonna like fly out that this is gonna be an outlier. Herm is here to stay, and his pro model is here to stay. Big ups to Arizona State. Kevin Sumlin, I don't know, man. Got to get the defense fixed. Their offense is clearly spectacular with Khalil Tate, and he'll be back next year because he clearly is not an NFL quarterback. But, I mean, such is our life. But now I want to get to the, speaking of Cliff Kingsbury, I want to get to the Oregon Ducks. So they beat Oregon State 55 to 55, what, 15, 55? Yeah, 55-15. Here's the thing. They were supposed to win by that much. Oregon State has the worst defense, like, known to man. Like, I was trying to think, who has the worst defense? Oklahoma, Oregon State, or James Harden. Then I thought it can't be Oklahoma. They just scored 2 touchdowns on defense to help win the game. Then I thought, okay, it's got to be Oregon State. And so Herbert got hurt in the game. And I was absolutely surprised that they put in Braxton Burmeister. When you're dealing with college kids, like, especially because I've called games with ESPN, Fox Sports, with college kids, you're not supposed to attack the person. Like, you don't really want to say negative and critical things about the kids. And the pros, you can do that. But here's the truth. I was surprised that Oregon put in Braxton Burmeister to just hand off the ball because they clearly weren't going to throw the ball. Weather wasn't great. They clearly weren't going to do it. I was surprised that they gave him snaps instead of Suge. I was surprised. Very, very surprised. Only because I expected the Ducks to look to the future. Because Braxton Burmeister is not the future. He's not. It seemed like to me, here's what I think. I think that Oregon was trying to make sure that Braxton Burmeister does not transfer. Because if they had put Suge in and let Suge play, he probably would transfer. And why do you care if he transfers? Because that would only give them one scholarship quarterback at going through spring ball and all of that. That's why. So Oregon may be in the market for a graduate transfer. So they're trying to find a way to keep Braxton Burmeister just in case Herbert leaves. Because if Herbert leaves, you're going to be left with Suge, and that's about it. So they will want to keep him in case Herbert leaves. Yep, no matter what Achilles says, because, like, Achilles tried to defend him. To me, it's just indefensible. Like, the kid, he's an FCS quarterback. Like, he's not a Power 5 quarterback. That's just the truth. Like, that's not a knock. The facts are just the facts. So I found it interesting. I haven't found out the answer yet, and when I do, I will tell you guys. But like Dylan Mitchell barely even played in the game. Barely even played. I was very surprised by that. Do I think Herbert stays or not? I think Herbert does. I think Herbert, Mitchell, and Dye all return for their senior seasons. I don't have any actual confirmation of that yet, but that's just my sneaky suspicion based upon what I do know. I do think that it's highly likely that they come back. What else did I want to talk about the Ducks? Oh, someone asked me a good question about Marcus Arroyo and the Oregon offensive coordinator job. The Oregon offensive coordinator job. Here's what I honestly believe. Marcus Arroyo is obviously a fabulous recruiter. It is difficult when you go from recruiting and quarterback coaching to be a coordinator. I think that in the offseason, Arroyo is going to have to do what other coaches do. Get on the travel tour, go visit other coaches, learn, mature, get your offense together. I don't think that he needs to be replaced by any way, stretch, or form imagination. However, I will tell you this. If you can get a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, which I don't think the Ducks are going to be able to get, because I do think that he will be an NFL offensive coordinator before anything else. Or he may get an opportunity at Colorado to be the head coach. So, I doubt it. But if you can get Cliff Kingsbury, hell yeah. If the Ducks had Cliff Kingsbury, are you kidding me? This dude can manufacture offense out of anything. So imagine if he has an NFL quarterback like Justin Herbert. Man, that would be absolutely awesome. I would take it. Do I want Arroyo fired? No. However, if you can get if you can get Chip Kelly, I'd fire Cristobal. If you can get Nick Saban, I'd fire Chip Kelly. You could have Sean McVay as your head coach. If you can get Bill Belichick, you fire. That don't mean the other guy's not good. You just got something, Yep. Go pay a visit to Sean McVay. That would be a great job. That'd be a great thing to do. I'd be all in on that. You guys send in all your questions. If you have any, I will get to them before I get off. Oh, yeah. He could also go visit Lincoln Riley, coach at Oklahoma. Good move. How do you become better at calling plays? He's not creative. How coaches get better at calling plays is like how you get better at anything. You just practice and practice. You have to learn situations, how to set up plays, which is huge, and how to scheme people open. And how to have counters for what the defense is throwing at you. That's how you become a good. It's a lot of experience. Yes, you just have to have skills, but you also have to have experience. Let me make sure I got to everybody's questions before we get off today. And you guys visit unafraidshow.com. The top 10, the college football top 10 will be up by the time you go to sleep and you wake your pretty head up this in the morning. And you guys always know I always appreciate you guys who join in after all the college football games are done. I know you guys are tired. I appreciate it, man. Unafraid Show appreciates it. I think I got to everybody's questions. I tried to do a better job of that tonight. I appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for everything. Visit unafraidshow.com. Download the podcast. And most importantly, leave a comment and tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Send it out. Send out the articles. All of that. This is our place for us where you can get real conversation, real questions answered, and you can get the truth. Peace out. Catch you guys on Monday.